Today on the show, we're talking to Julien and Nicole of Julien Looks Under Things, a show that uses education and humor to bring viewers the wildlife that lives under our noses.
It's Julien looks under things with Julien who looks under things, and Nicole is there sometimes, so let's go look under things.
Julien and Nicole, welcome to the pod.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for joining us. We're so glad to have you.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're glad to be here too.
You're
Thanks so
welcome.
much. Yeah.
Tell us about your show.
So, Julien Looks Under Things, which basically was started as my COVID project, because basically, like, that's what I did. I would just walk around everywhere. It's basically like little vignettes of discovering nature. So, it's mostly just like I find an insect, usually a bug, sometimes under a log, and I talk about it just out of the blue. I talk to the bug, I talk about the bug. It can be any other type of animal. And every day I post one of those videos. And basically starting a little bit, that started around 2023 when I got with Nicole, because you have like experience with filmmaking. I started to put those videos together to make my own documentaries. So I did start a little bit with Australia, and my latest one, which was in Iceland, Julien Looks Under Things, Under Iceland's Waters. This time I basically like had interviews with people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought the interviews were really good. What led you to add that component to the films?
I think
It was
that just kind of added more to the narrative, like kind of broke up the film a little bit, because I think normally you talk and there's some background and then you have your close-up videos with like the bugs or like sometimes birds and other animals, and
Yeah.
this kind of helps to
And it was also inspired by, because we joined one of the environmentalist groups in Iceland, the Young Environmentalists of Iceland, Ungern Fafsina, and we were invited to the premiere of David Attenborough's Oceans, and I saw that they did that. Like there was a lot of interviews with people helping the environment, and I was like, okay, because with my documentaries before, and usually documentaries in general, it's kind of like, this is what's happening with the environment. Oh no, figure it out. And
yeah.
and people were asking me that too with my previous documentaries. They were like, what do we do? And I was like, you can do. And I was like, I don't want to just say I want to show. So I was like, you know what? Let's see who's helping around. And also, like you said, it really helps with the flow.
Well, and you kind of want to show like what we can do rather than just explain what the problems are. And you took a bit of inspiration from, like you said, Oceans by David Attenborough. And then we also picked certain locations in Iceland just to kind of highlight what we were discussing in that moment.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I wanted to tell us a story, which I also kind of put together by basically asking everyone just like very basic questions, but then seeing what they're kind of, you ask people to info dump about their interests, they're going to info dump.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said you started sort of like making videos sort of in COVID. Were you interested in nature sort of before that? Or was this just sort of you were in your house and you're like, well, might as well do something, look under rocks. And then, that's my first question. I'll go with that first.
Yeah, well, I've been always interested in nature. Like it started when I was tiny. One of my formative memories was when I was 3, and my dad just showed me an anthill. And then another memory of those is at the aquarium in Quebec. I was like, my dad showed me a tiny crab eating, and I was like, that little crab is eating. And then I eventually ended up studying biology because I wanted to be a scientist. And during that time in the summer, I worked at a wildlife reserve called Oak Marsh, which is in the north of Winnipeg, which is basically a bird life preserve wetland area. And I learned there that I prefer talking instead of doing research. So, yeah, I went towards education afterwards. I saw in education, I love teaching. I hate everything else. So then I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. My friends told me, go do some volunteering. I went to do some volunteering in Costa Rica. And when I was there, it was basically just volunteering, helping with sea turtles research. And I did that. I basically just explained to everyone what we were doing. And then every time I found a bug or a creature, I would talk to it. And they were like, hey, you should do something with that. And then I came back home because of COVID, and I was kind of like, I want to do something. I was like, maybe I'll start a podcast. And I'm like, I don't know anything about. Oh, there I am.
The way it
And
goes.
yeah, and basically every day what I did was play Pokemon Go and walk around my neighborhood. But then people would start messaging me. They're like, Julian, I found this bird. I found this thing. What is it? And I was like, oh, that's really fun. And they're like, I've never seen this bird before. Was it there before? I'm like, it's always been there. It's just that now we have been taking the time to look around. So at some point, I found a log. I took my phone. And I was like, I was also inspired by like all the unboxing videos that were going around at the time.
Ooh, yeah.
I was like, let's do a nature unboxing video. So I just picked up a log, lifted up, and was like, oh, well, hello, what do we got here? We have a little worm, and we have a thing over there. And I was like, okay, I'm going to post that on my Facebook, see what people think. And I posted it. People were like, yeah, we want more. Give us more. So I was like, okay. So I kept doing that. And then I got a job at the Manitoba Museum where I met Nicole.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we worked in different departments, which is crazy because I'm more of like a visual artist. I do some science, bit of history, but then I'm in the science planetarium department, and then you're in history.
And then like what happened too is that basically it was like we got together as a couple, but then I planned a trip to Australia before I met you. So I went off by myself, missed you a lot.
Yeah.
But when I went there, I met, I forget her name. She's on Instagram, but I met this one lady who is also a wildlife photographer. That was in Cairns. She does bug hikes. I just walked around, saw it, and I called her. Can I go on a tour with you? She's like, yes. And yeah, it was basically just a night walk looking for bugs. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like that's so, and she said it was that, yeah, she was like, you're really into it. Like, yeah, I'm really into it. Yeah. And I saw she was using the Olympus camera system. There's the camera I'm using right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And
with the macro lens.
Yeah, really good macro lens. It's amazing
Nice.
macro lens. And when I came back, I told Nicole about it, and she was like, yep, I can find you that. Yep.
Yep.
So we went to the local camera store.
Photo Central.
Yeah.
Page Avenue. What's up, Photo Central?
Shout out. Not sponsored. But if you want to sponsor, that would be great.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
We could, yeah, totally. We should have some sponsors.
Yeah. And yeah, that's basically what led to the more higher quality with my videos.
That's awesome. And Nicole, did you also grow up in Canada, or what's your story?
So I grew up in Canada as well. I grew up in a different area of the city than Julien did. But yeah, I kind of went more the visual art route. I also was interested in nature and bugs, but it sort of devolved into like kind of looking more at like what's happening around me, like the mundane and the banal that were like, oh, the drudgery. And just just like most people just walk by places and they just don't even notice that there's bugs or that there's birds or even that there's like a history with a particular tree. They're just like, that's another tree. What's another tree? So I kind of got interested in like the little tiny details and doing stop motion and just doing like using macro lenses to get really in there.
Ooh,
So then when I met Julien and he started doing things with bugs, we went, oh, we can combine these talents together.
You're really good at finding them. Like usually I'm finding one bug and then you have like 5 bugs in line.
Oh yeah, like you're looking at one, I'm like, oh, Julien, there's one here and here and here.
Preparing all the models ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like let's make sure they're backlit.
Like there was that one time when we went to Quebec because I got a job there, and basically you followed me there, and we decided to go on this like 10-kilometer hike, but we didn't go far because you found a bunch of little frogs.
I did. I found like frogs that were so small; they were the size of like your pinky nail.
Yeah,
so teeny tiny.
and that's all we did. We just followed the tiny frogs.
I have been on many a hike or I've gone hiking with people and they say, oh, how long do we want to hike for? And I was like, well, do you want to go for time or do you want to go for distance? Because I could spend 5 hours and I could either lock in and go a lot of miles, or we could just basically not leave the parking lot and just look at all the things around the parking lot. I could spend 5 hours doing that. So it depends on what experience you want. So very much relate to that.
Because we've done that with some friends too, who were like, we do not care for the details. We want to finish the hike. And I gave them one of my micro lens and they were like,
Yeah, and they totally got into it, and they're like, "Wow, I understand now." I'm like, "So you get it? You
Yeah.
get it? Yeah."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess like I leaned more into like visual art and helped, like I said, use that to kind of film Julian and his like interviews. And I sort of did like I've done like producing a little bit, so I helped produce his documentary.
Mhm.
Did a lot of the running around, some of the scheduling, locations, how do we want it lit? And it was a
Yeah.
little tricky.
Yeah.
I forgot a few things. Apparently, I had a little filter I could have used for UV light at times.
Well, we're always learning more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning on the job.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, with my own films, I'm always extremely nervous about any imperfection in it. And then I'll watch even something from the BBC I was watching this morning, and I'm like, oh, they framed that ear out of that shot. And so it's like it's always there. You just when you're watching someone else's stuff, you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
You're very good at this. I'm very much like the presenter, so I'm just like, show must go on. Let's do this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm very much like attention to detail. And like I remember in university I did a stop motion animation and the professor didn't understand the length of time. I don't know how I did it, but I did a really solid, super detailed one in like a week's time.
Wow.
And it was like 2.5
Wow.
Yeah.
And I just was like, and he's like, wow, you did that? I was like, yeah, I didn't sleep though, but I did.
I imagine that's so meticulous to make those.
Yeah, I've done some stop motion stuff when I was a little bit younger as a child, so like the quality wasn't, super high, but even that, like the amount of time it takes, so like at a university level, I could only imagine, especially in the crunch time of a week, very impressive.
Yeah, I'll have to. I think it's still online somewhere, but I'll have to post it. But yeah, it was just it. I think it went well considering. But yeah, it was very like I learned a lot about, for example, Wallace and Gromit, what type of clay they use. It's not plasticine; it's a different kind. The heat from the light kind of brings the oil out and it gets mushy and it melts. And I was like, how does theirs not melt?
That's very much the details. That's like what really convinced me that really cemented me falling in love with you, because I brought her on a date to one of the wildlife centers in Winnipeg.
Like one of our earlier days.
Yeah, like that was at Fort White Alive. Shout out to Fort White Alive. Really,
Fort
really.
White Alive.
And we got to one of their dioramas, and I was about to start my info dumping about the wetlands, and then you started explaining to me the entire way that they're making that. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're never gonna run out of stuff to talk about.
No.
Yeah. That's like the best situation that you could have.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It's like I was like, wow, we're gonna have a lot to talk about, like the art meets nature. Like I've always been interested in dioramas. I'm like, like just the detail involved is you gotta have so much patience, and you gotta use a specific type of glue, but also not this type. Or like even when people do flowing water, it's just hair gel if you do it right. I'm like,
How do you think about the overlap between the scientific lens of looking at nature and the artistic lens?
ooh,
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I would say.
Well, the way I see it is that because the way I see it is I use science communication. So basically, like I know that with science, you need to show it in a specific way, and the best way for people to understand is through stories, through visuals. So basically, again, like when you look at anything scientific, also you can see very much the beauty in it that can easily be captured in art as well. So.
Or like illustration.
Yeah, like
if you like have the science behind it, like a little blurb, and then you have a nice illustration to bring people in. Or in this case, you frame something really well and have the right lighting while you're talking, and then I see them in that way they kind of flow together quite well.
And my favorite way is with humor.
Yeah, humor does that a lot.
Because like
that a lot.
Before Julien Looks Under Things, I also did stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I tried some with like using nature a little bit, and it worked well, but I was like, I want to focus more on the nature than the humor. But I saw while filming that animals are pretty hilarious.
They're really funny, actually. If you get them in the right moment, you're like, wow.
Yeah. So that's one thing I really love with the editing is just working and putting little jokes on it, and just especially birds when they make their little noises. Because like I filmed that
yeah.
Yeah, the godwit that just
And even just this morning, I just went in my parents' garden, and there's just a crab spider caught a bumblebee.
A bumblebee.
Yeah,
Wow.
a crab spider. I'm just like, yeah,
Ambitious.
you gonna eat that? You gonna eat that?
You have that in common with Bill Nye the Science Guy. He
I
started
met
out.
him.
Oh, you met him? That's
I met him,
awesome.
yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I did see him. I
Yeah.
did see him.
yeah,
I like was in a different area, but you ran into him, and he had like the strangest, funniest things to tell you.
yeah. I went because basically he was visiting the museum where we worked. Like my coworkers, like Bill Nye is here. Bill Nye. I'm like, what? Bill Nye is here. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to him. They're like, what? I want to go
Yeah,
talk
you
to him.
gotta.
He's like the best. He's one of like the people I really aspire to. Like Bill Nye,
Yeah.
Dave Attenborough, the Pratt brothers from Zaboomafoo,
Yep.
Steve Irwin as well.
The
So I was like,
Universal,
okay,
right?
I'm gonna, yeah. And I went to go see where he was, and it was hilarious because he was basically just following one of the museum people also who was showing him
Like the
around.
management.
Yeah, and no one in the galleries knew Bill Nye was there either. Everyone was so hyper focused in their own region and reading their own little things. So really, that was the Earth's history exhibit.
Yeah,
so
that
like,
one is pretty
yeah,
intensive.
that's where there's all the fossils of Manitoba and everything. And then that was Scott. Yeah,
Hey, Scott.
he sees me lingering around. And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Let's try something out." So he brings Bill Nye to the to like some of the fossils, and he goes, and here we have also a lot of people that he brought Bill Nye to the Megatherium fossil, like the giant sloth, and he's like, a lot of people think it's a T-Rex, but it's not, and a lot of our tour guides have to tell that to people, like this guy over here, and I'm like, hello.
Shout out.
They like science wingmanned you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I was like, hello, I'm Julien. He's like, nah, greetings, Julien. I'm Bill. I'm like, nice to meet you, Bill.
You sound just like him. That's great.
So casual.
Yeah, we just talked about fossils, and then I showed him one of our plesiosaur fossils that has like a shark tooth in it. And Bill, he asked me like, hey, did it try to eat a shark, or did a shark try to eat it? I'm like, well, that's one of the mysteries here. And he says, well, you know what? Sometimes I'll eat a peanut whole just to confuse paleontologists in the future. And he leaves.
It's a great idea. I think about that a lot. The other day I found a glass bottle that on a river that was it was old and it had been there for a few decades, but it wasn't old enough to like keep because it's exciting, and it's just glass. So I thought about like hiding it deeper in the river so that no one would pick it up, and I'm like, this will be really exciting for an archaeologist in about 100 years. So like when enough time will have passed that this is a cool thing to find.
Telling your family and relatives, you're like, okay, when I pass away, I want you to bury me with like some weapons, bones of an animal that don't live here, seashells from a different continent, and just like they'll be like, what is going on here?
Oh, I know I freaked out my mom a little bit by saying I want to be buried with the mushroom coffin thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The one that decomposes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. I mean, as cool as they can be, but yeah.
Given the situation.
Right.
Given the situation. Using humor, of course,
Yeah,
as
I like that.
we do in our
Yeah.
science communication.
Right? Like I think we always just find humor in things that like aren't necessarily inherently funny, but then it can be funny
Oh,
if you
yeah.
bring it out in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the mushroom thing.
Yeah. That's the whole idea with Wild Green Memes, is to take something that has educational value and focus on the humor. And then if there's a kernel of something to learn in there, that kernel is worth it, and then the rest
Yeah.
of it's a joke. And then just that iterated a million times, it becomes kind of a body of knowledge that the people in the group share.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh man, I can't think of the memes right now. But I've been following Wild Green Memes for a good while.
You always show me like things that they post.
Let's see. Yeah, because a lot of my friends, they're in the trash gang.
Oh yeah, right.
Trash Mob.
Gangs,
Excellent.
Trash
Mobs,
Mob.
excellent. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Charity Battle 3 champions. Okay, so shifting gears quite a bit.
Yeah.
You guys have done a lot of work with conservation and local direct action. What's the story with the LeMay Forest?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that one.
Yes.
That's a
Okay.
good one. Okay.
So the LeMay Forest was basically just like this little neighborhood forest. Yeah, forest in my neighborhood.
Like, how big is it roughly, would you say?
Oh, I forgot the size. It's
Many acres?
quite a few, 300 hectares,
Okay,
something
yeah.
like that. But it's basically just this forest that since I was a little kid, I would go there and people walk their dogs there. And back in 2019, because basically it was this land that would end up being bought and then sold and bought and then sold. No one did anything with it. And eventually it was bought by this one company who wanted to build a basically like a retirement home or a assisted
Condominium or
they wanted to build basically the largest assisted living area in Winnipeg. And we're like, basically there's already two retirement homes in St. Norbert, the area we're in.
area that we're in, yeah.
And the city even said, like, we can't build anything else. We're at capacity. We're also on the edge of town, so we can't build a huge assisted living home. It's not going to be
No,
possible.
it's not feasible. Yeah.
But this guy would not add up. He would not let go. So basically, yeah, we got together because basically there was a little, like, there was already a group just to maintain the trails. They got together and we started to make just a coalition, talk to our city councilors, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And eventually they even found that it was a historical area because there's one building that used to be an orphanage in the like 1800s.
Yeah.
And where the building was going to be was where the cemetery of the orphanage was.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and also there's also pileated woodpecker nests there, so which are federally protected in Canada. So basically, like Nicole and I, we were in Iceland when this was happening, but basically we tried to, like, I was trying to, because this area was really dear to me, I tried to just spread the word as much as I could.
Just online and
Yeah.
through like letter writing to like, the city and to various politicians involved,
And
trying to get them involved if they weren't already.
But yeah, it kept getting bigger and bigger, and then we had the indigenous community who decided to build a sacred fire there to also like help, well, basically prevent any of the like large, basically just make it so the area is designated to. They said let's wait for an actual historian or archaeologist to come here and actually check where the bodies are and everything like that. And then what happened too was that at some point during the summer of last year, they were starting to cut down the trees. And because what happened was that we were 5 hours ahead of everyone. Every time someone would like hear that, they would post that on Facebook. I would see it because I'm just coming down from work. I wanted to play video games, but I'm like, no, gotta get to work. And I would just contact everyone. And then eventually, someone went in to prevent one of the trees from getting cut. And then our premier just out of the blue designated the area a provincial park.
Nice.
So, yeah. And it was really cool to see just how everyone was working together.
Nice.
And, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. Yeah.
Great that like the community just came together and like, nope, we're saving this forest and we're going to keep it part of the community and just leave it the way it is.
It was fun talking to the people who were maintaining the fire. Like they were saying like, because a lot of the videos I was posting also were from the bugs in that forest. Mm-hmm. And they were like, thank you, because they were doing that during the winter, basically keeping vigil. And they said like, thank you for the videos. That kept us pretty motivated, like during -20 nights.
Yeah.
Sometimes -30.
I think a lot of people think of bugs as kind of a warm weather thing. Could you tell us more about like how the invertebrates live in boreal regions?
Yes. So basically the boreal region and the Arctic regions live in a very similar way in that they still have very warm summers, especially in Canada and Winnipeg. We have very hot summers. We're the area with the biggest gradient of temperature. We go from -30 in the winter to +30 in the summer.
Wow.
So so the bugs, they can really take advantage of those summer seasons because those few summer months are vital. Everything happens very quickly. Lots of plants, lots of bugs, and then lots of birds. The bugs then will have very important adaptations for the winter. So there's quite a few different adaptations. The first one is migration. So we have the monarch butterflies. They haven't been doing so good, but now there's a big uptick in them because everyone in the neighborhood planted milkweeds last year. So we have So we have the monarch butterflies, the swallowtail butterflies, and the green darner dragonflies who will migrate. They have the multiple generation migration. So because bugs don't live very long, it's really cool because one generation migrates south, has their babies, dies there. The next generation will migrate back north. Then we have, of course, hibernation. So with hibernation, it's not hibernation like mammals, but they just find a place to snooze. Some butterflies will do it. A lot of, let's see here. Yeah, there's the morning cloak butterfly that does it. And then we also have making sure you lay your eggs before you die. Yeah. Make sure your eggs are protected. So most bugs, it's going to be like that. So that's why I have my own personal rule when flipping logs. I make sure that I stop flipping logs as soon as the first frost hits, which is basically usually once we get into October, as soon as we have one first frost, I'm like, I'm leaving you guys be because that's where you got to sleep and keep your eggs safe and everything. And then I will continue to do it as soon as the average temperature will reach 15 degrees in the soil, which will usually be in May. So May is when I restart to flip the logs.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Awesome.
What brought y'all to Iceland?
Yeah.
Well, this interesting story. So we're both French Canadians, but I also have an Icelandic background because some of my family immigrated to Canada from Iceland and some stayed behind. So I knew them. I've met some of my family down there when I was small, and they visited me numerous times here. And I thought, well, I want to do a master's in visual art. I wanted to kind of go out there, see if I can learn more, see something different than the province that we're from and just parts of Canada. So I applied to different schools, and Iceland was the one that kind of piqued my interest. So I went to the Iceland University of the Arts, did the interview, and I thought,
you did it in Sudbury.
I did in Sudbury when we were traveling. We were like on route to Quebec, and I did in Sudbury. And then it went really well.
Very well.
And
yeah.
I thought, great, well, now I have to prep myself for going to Iceland. And then you joined sometime after that.
Yeah, because I got I got a job, a 6 months contract in Quebec. So you followed me there.
I followed you to Quebec, and then I had to leave a little early.
Then you said, "Do you want to follow me to Iceland?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm following you to Iceland." Didn't know anything about Iceland, but I'm going there.
Yeah, so I studied visual art, and then I studied a little bit of Icelandic there. I knew some beforehand, but I did all right. Like I can read.
You do good.
Icelandic. And
Tell me good Islensku.
I almost said Mexican. Tack hermano.
Sounds fluent to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's conversation.
You.
But you have you have a French accent when you do it. I don't know how that's possible, but you sound very French when you say Icelandic words.
Like golden dine.
Yeah, and you're like, well, those are like French accents.
Yeah.
But
my take on languages, as someone who only really speaks one language, is that the goal isn't even to be able to speak it without an accent. Like when I hear someone speaking with an accent in English, I'm like, that's cool. Like it tells me something interesting about them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
But it's literally just I think I'm literally the only person that speaks like that.
It's kind of interesting because there's other French people that speak Icelandic, but they don't have that. Like they have other accents, but you have like the quote stereotypical accent of like, "Hello, mon ami."
Oh, I get
That's just your calling card. That's just your unique, unique signature.
You just drop the H's, but in Icelandic you say them like K's, so you just drop them and just like. So when you say the young environmentalist, how?
Ungering Fafsina.
Yeah, it's not. Getting
Oh.
Yeah. But that's the part of the French, though. That was hard for me, too. I was like, you got to say the H's. Yeah, say the H's. So, that part was tricky. I was like, well, but, yeah, so then we explored more of Iceland parts that I didn't even think. Like, there were so many. I was like, I don't know how many bugs. And we made the first film you made, there it was over an hour, and it was like the bugs of Iceland, and I thought, oh dang, we saw a lot of bugs.
Yeah, like
I thought we'd maybe see like 10-ish, maybe 12, but I lost count of how many we saw.
well, I basically just as soon as I arrived, I was like, "Okay, I'm trying to find stuff." Well, I first arrived in the winter, so it was a little harder, but we did some traveling, and for me, it was like, "Okay, what are the biomes in Iceland? What are the lifestyle in Iceland? What do the people know?" And eventually, yeah, we started because I hung out a lot with your cohorts, so
Oh yeah, you came a lot to the University of Iceland, sorry, Iceland University of the Arts, where I went to school, and people thought he was a student. Because he was there so much helping me with some, because I would do like sculptures and video as
Yeah.
well, which is why I was able to help him with his film,
and everyone else was happy to have me just be there to carry something.
carry something, or to just like be a safety watch while we're in the smelting shop, so we
Yeah.
don't like scald ourselves.
Always important to have on hand.
Oh yeah, but yeah, like spent a lot of time with like the arts people, and then eventually I started to, yeah, find my way through the science people with the young environmentalists, and that's like, yeah, it basically brought us to, during our travels, we ended up going to the field station in Lake Mývatn.
Oh yeah, and we saw the cave char.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was so cool. It's like Arctic char that like evolved to be tiny for these, like it evolved to live in these tiny
Yeah.
caves like over 2,000 plus years ago. And so they're like really, really small. I wouldn't say, well, they may be big.
Yeah, they're minnow size.
They're minnow size.
They're minnow size. Just
Sardine size.
yeah, no, sardine. Yeah, they're sardine size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're like really small. And you're like, what?
Because you also got me the book about Lake Mývatn
Oh,
during
you did for
Christmas.
Christmas, I did. That's
Yeah.
the big thing in Iceland, book giving,
Yep.
because books are expensive. Just think of any book that you'd give anybody, and it's like 3 times the price in Iceland.
But it was a really good book,
It's a
and
great book,
and it's yeah, basically about this lady who stays in Lake Mývatn.
We met her too.
Yeah, we met her. she was like, "Oh, what brings you to the research station?" I'm like, well, I read this really good book about Lake Mývatn. Which book? The Wonder. Oh, yeah, I wrote that one. Oh,
It's like, I'm the author. Like, whoa.
That's
We saw
cool.
Björk at the cinema. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
crazy.
Amazing.
yeah. Bjork,
And so how does looking under things and like exploring the areas, how has that similar than to Canada, different from Canada? Because they can both places can get very cold, but my understanding is Iceland at least doesn't warm up quite the same way. But so was that sort of new things that you discovered, or were like the techniques sort of like pretty one-to-one in this new location?
the technique I needed, it was more just I needed to look harder. It was about because basically bugs in Iceland will be a little harder to find because it's not necessarily colder. The winters are much milder than Canada.
Way more mild. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Whoa.
The
Yeah.
coldest is, I think, -8 that we had.
But
Up north can maybe go to -20, maybe. But
maybe
it's
we haven't, yeah. But the issue is that the summers are not necessarily warmer. Like you have an average of like 10 degrees, sometimes 5 degrees.
5, yeah.
20 degrees is like huge when we get it. Holy.
We got it the
So-
last time. I was like, wow, this is like 45.
Yeah, and the weather changes very quickly. So basically, like you'll have rain and wind in the summer all the time. So it's really hard for a lot of insects to adapt to it because they have to be able to withstand those winds, those huge temperature changes. So basically, what's going on is that the bugs are still kind of arriving to Iceland. So the Vikings brought some. So the archaeologists, they know which bugs the Vikings brought. They brought the rove beetles, the ground beetles, and one species of bumblebee. So it's basically and you're also dealing with soil wise. Also, you're dealing with a little bit less soil.
It's more like, I don't want to say, like, I guess charcoal.
Yeah, it's very
color.
charcoal.
It's
It's
charcoal.
yeah.
It's like ash. It's very black. Like they have beaches that are just like black sand.
Yeah.
Volcanic.
Volcanic, yeah. So,
So
it's like, yeah.
it's all about really knowing the clues. It's not finding the bug first, but knowing the clues of where a bug would want to be.
Yeah.
So I would always be like around the trees, be like, is that a place that a bug would like to be? And I look, sometimes I find something, sometimes I don't. And a lot of those bugs are very small as well. So it was very much working with lighting with my because here the bugs are a little bit more regular size, but like now it's
Yeah.
like I had to learn a lot how to work with lighting with my camera, with ISO and everything. Because some of those, like especially there's a lot of springtails and mites, which are like super small.
They're
It's like
microscopic. They're like they're the size of a pinhead almost.
Yeah.
Smaller.
So it's very much like, okay, how do I film this tiny bug who is very small, who is very fast? So it's a lot of just learning patience. And it was also just fun to show everyone because we would go for a walk and like I would be like, yeah, there's a tiny bug. I found a lot of tiny parasitoid wasps.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting one. My favorite find was that was just in a bathroom somewhere in the tiny village of Hofsos.
On Hufsus, outside, like you were in kind of the corridor area.
Yeah.
Washington, and there was like an Icelandic woman that was asking questions, and then I just
Like,
said,
vad gör du? I'm like, scared you.
no, she said like, "Vad gör du?"
And I'm like,
Like,
yeah.
what are you doing? And then you said, "Oh, I'm looking at bugs," and so I just said like, "Yes, yes." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I found a hyperparasitoid wingless wasp.
Wingless.
Ooh.
I didn't know it was wingless.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That adds a layer. That adds a
Yeah.
layer.
And like, let's see, I forgot the species name, but it's apparently, tiny wingless wasp who lays her eggs on the eggs that a parasitoid wasp laid on a caterpillar. And that wasp asexually reproduces as well.
That's
Wow.
so cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, I don't think you told me that bit.
No, I forgot. There's so many bugs I'm finding.
There's so many
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
But one of the hardest challenges actually was more that there isn't that much research on the insects of Iceland. So I was basically
one of 4 experts.
One of our scientist friends even said that. She said the Cyan who was interviewed in the video said, we have 4 bug experts. You're one of them. Because every time I would find like one of the plaques about the bugs, it was like in Icelandic. I tried to translate them, and
I tried to read it for you, and I was like, I can't tell you much more than it says that this bug is red and is small and is called, I forget.
Well, I wanted to learn about the snout mites because
there's little snout mites and they just call them ants.
they
Right?
call it red ants, and I'm like, that's not an ant.
Yeah.
And then like there's even a weevil. They call it the silver frog, and I'm like, that's not a frog.
But see, that's why it was hard when I was trying to translate. I was like, I can't explain it to you because it says it's a frog.
And then like when I met some of the scientists and I was like, hey, I have some questions about the bugs, and they're like, yeah, we also have those same questions. That's pretty much what inspired me to make the documentary, because I was like, I'm seeing literally no documentaries about the wildlife of Iceland besides the puffins and the foxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's so much more than that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that people don't even realize, because there was always the joke where when we were looking at bugs and we were talking about your earlier documentary and they're saying, oh, so what? It's like 5 minutes long. I'm like, try an hour. And they're like, an hour. I'm like, there's lots of bugs here. You just don't look at it. You just think about the little tiny midges.
Well, the midges are cool too.
The midges are really cool too. That's all they think about is like the midges, because up north, Mivatin means like midge lake because there's so many of them.
Mm.
Oh, but
that's all they know is like that, and that there's like maybe a couple beetles and some spiders. I'm like, oh,
the spiders were fun to film.
The spiders were really cool. They're interesting. I saw one eat like a huge crane fly.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I wonder if the reason there hasn't been much done in Iceland before y'all is that most of the people filming documentaries there flew in for something they pre-planned and then left, rather than move there and then said, okay, let me learn everything about this place.
I think
I think they just had a preconceived, like they would fly in and say like, oh, I'm going to talk about the volcanoes, I'm going to talk about the beaches, or things that we sort of go, I guess that makes sense, rather than, really exploring. And
because I came in knowing nothing. Like the only thing I knew about Iceland was, I guess, the volcanoes and the fermented shark. That's it. I tried it. It's terrible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I would have been interested if it had been delicious. That would have been shocking to me.
No, it tastes like cheese that has gone bad eaten through a dirty sock.
Very
I ate it because I thought it was cheese.
Yeah.
Well, I told you what it was.
I didn't hear you. I just saw, cheese.
Oh, they call it cheese too. It's not just a metaphor.
No, they don't. They don't call it cheese. That's just me
Oh,
being
it just
obsessed
looked
with
like it.
cheese.
I got you.
It just looked,
Yeah.
It looked kind of like a interesting cube of cheese, and I told him I was like, "This is the shark," and he was like, "Cheese." I'm like, "That's not cheese. Not. That's not what that is." And he was like, "Whoa."
Well,
I did good.
You did
Yeah.
very well. I mean, we saw a clip of
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay doing it, and his piece was even smaller than the one you ate, and he like had to walk away. I think he puked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Anthony Bourdain have trouble with some dishes, so it happens to everyone.
Yeah, that one I think is the hardest, and it's also not a dish that they particularly eat often. It's like a holiday, kind of very seasonal, but because of tourism, like you see more of it, but tourists don't even really eat it, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's interesting to try, I guess.
The hot dogs are good.
Oh, the hot dogs are really good. Yeah. Well, and
Interesting.
I grew up on the dried fish, which I found out in English is stockfish is the name of what I've been eating, and I was like, stockfish, because we just call it hartfisker, which is like hardened.
It's a better word.
Yeah.
Much better word than stockfish.
Yeah, I think so. I think it has more of a ring.
Yeah.
But
I think so.
grew up on that. It's delicious. I think so. If you don't, that's fine. And that's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah. Put some butter.
more for you in that case.
Yeah.
More for me, yeah.
What's next? What do you have any plans for your next documentary?
I'm thinking on it. Basically, I think I do want to help more the environment, the local environment here, because I saw that I was able to help, from abroad.
Help with the
And,
forest and the other thing that we helped with, the data center.
Oh yeah, we also stopped a data center being built next to the town.
Whoa, tell us that
huge.
story. That's awesome.
Yeah. That one was actually surprisingly simple. It was
more simple than the somehow.
thankfully that was simple. We just needed a petition and that's it. But it got big. Yeah, the petition got big. 10,000 signatures. But it was going to be built next to the village of Ile-des-Chênes.
Like how big is that town?
It's a very small. It's a village. It's
like
tiny.
800 people?
Probably something like that. Yeah. Probably bigger. Sorry, people from Ile-des-Chênes.
We hate the train. We don't know. We're idiots a little bit.
And but yeah, basically like I went on the Ile-des-Chênes Facebook page, so I was going on and just was like, oh yeah, we do not want that here because it's also next to a wildlife rehab center.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's Wildlife Haven. Yeah. Shout out to Wildlife Haven.
Yeah. But yeah, it's where they do a lot of rehab for the geese that have issues with their wings and and that sort of thing.
And basically we just spread the word everywhere, and our premier who wanted to go on with data centers said finally no, so there you go, it got stopped.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah,
didn't we stop the one in Toronto as well?
I think one in Toronto got stopped as well, but I don't know what impact we had on this one, but
probably they caught in.
But basically we saw we want to do more here, and I'm thinking with here I do want to do something about wetlands because I love wetlands.
Yeah.
Frogs and cranberry bogs and cranberries and frogs in the fall.
Yeah.
And we have a nice little bog north of Winnipeg, the Broken Head Fen.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of frogs there too. And
Excellent.
Was it? Yeah. No, I was thinking Quebec, but it was in Quebec we saw the frogs fighting each other, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in another wetland. There was two big green frogs wrestling. That was hilarious.
That's hilarious. I was like, oh, that's cute. Oh, no, it's not cute. They're going to...
And that's the comedy in nature. That's the humor.
You did, yeah.
They look like, it's something about the way they're fighting. They're going, and they're slapping their arms around.
Yeah,
it's just this is considered violent fighting.
It's very violent. But there's wetlands, and I'm thinking I do want to focus also on the Interlakes region, which is where the
new Iceland, where the Icelandic settlement was.
Yeah,
because in Iceland, the people that left, so there's over 200,000 Icelanders in Manitoba, where we are, and those are the people that left Iceland during the mass emigration. So a lot of Icelanders actually aren't aware that it was that many, that literally half their population, because they have 400,000 people in Iceland currently. So half their population left.
Wow.
Basically,
yeah,
because of the
volcanic
eruption and other turmoil with the land, and it was just very dangerous and unpredictable. And
35 went to Brazil.
Oh yeah, no, it was 30. Yeah.
Interesting.
Complete change of scenery.
Yeah, they went to Brazil, and then there was a few that went to Utah.
The first migration went to Utah, and then the second one was North Dakota, and
And the biggest one was here.
yeah,
But yeah, Utah was interesting. It was like Utah.
yeah.
And they had like, I guess, apparently someone in Utah either knew an Icelander or translated something into Icelandic, so it enticed the Icelanders to come. And there's like an Icelandic, what do you call it, Mennonite?
Yeah.
Is it Mennonite? Yeah.
No, Iceland Mormon.
Mormon. Thank you.
Mormons,
It's
that
Mormon,
makes
not Mennonite.
sense.
Yeah. Mormon community that speak Icelandic.
Yeah,
Huh.
but yeah,
Wow.
yeah, but yeah, with this area, we have the large lakes of Manitoba, which are having a lot of environmental problems. We have the zebra mussels, algal blooms. So I'm thinking of doing something with that because I know a lot is, I think, being done with that, but I would like to, interview the people that are working there.
And push for it more because like in 2016, 2017, Lake Winnipeg, which is one of the biggest lakes we have that's in that interlake region, was visible from space in not a great way. And it was voted the thickest lake, I want to say, in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe, because of the zebra mussels and the pollution that were brought in that were, not seen as, oh, it's not a problem, it's not going to happen. But then somehow we got zebra mussels and all these algae blooms and like blue-green algae and like all this toxicity in the lake, and the pH went totally off the charts. So hopefully we can do something about that. And that's something I think I like about here is that there's like, not about necessarily individual, but like changing the system, right? And I think we can do that more here than in Iceland. They're not fully aware of what's possible.
Yeah, like there's people, like even we have a municipal election coming up with Winnipeg, and there's a lot of the new councillors that are running. Really want to do a lot for like nature and the birds.
Yes,
so it's
they
pretty
do.
cool.
So that was really
yeah.
At first we were like,
oh, that was another thing we helped too. Yeah, we helped because they were going to try to change the bylaw for buildings. The mayor wanted to change the bylaw for buildings to stop making it bird friendly.
Right, and
yeah.
Oh, right, because he wanted to take away the
little decals on the.
It's how you do the decals or the things with the windows so that you can prevent birds from thinking it's like open space.
Yeah.
He's like, we're not going to do that anymore.
We all said no.
Come on, man.
That's
Crazy.
Save the birds.
And I'm also thinking of maybe trying more up north with more in the boreal forest, because I know there's also a pipeline being planned near Churchill, and I know that a lot of people want to stop it. And I don't know how much is known about northern Manitoba, because it is like
it's a bit isolated.
It's very isolated.
You have to you can't drive there.
I haven't even been there yet.
Yeah, we have to be there because you have to take a train or you have to fly in.
Yeah,
and it actually costs more than going to Iceland. So
wow.
Yeah.
Now that's remote.
Yeah. So I would love to check it out and see if we could go. Maybe we could apply for a grant with the Arts Council.
Yeah, we'll see.
Do something with that.
So when you do that, where should people go to watch?
Yeah.
So basically with my documentary now, it's going to be shown on. So it was shown on June 11th at the Nordic House in Reykjavik. We had a full house. It was great.
It's a full house. Yes, it was very successful.
A lot of people I didn't know, so that was
featured in multiple media outlets. So
yeah. You basically did a lot of the work with that.
As the producer,
and it's going to be shown on August 15th at Gimli at the new Iceland Heritage Museum.
Yes.
At 1 p.m. And for future documentaries, we'll see.
So it'll be online?
Yep. It's like the current one's online. If I post them online, I will. Yeah, with the next one, I'll say if I'm posting them online. But I'm hoping to use this one to get funding for future documentaries.
Yes, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and we'll also link to your YouTube channel in the description on this episode. Nicole, do you have anywhere you want to send people for your art?
Well, currently my website is under construction, so it's very much it's a void. But I think once I finish that, I could definitely send you the link. But I'm also on Instagram and believe it should be under, I think it's called Pouvoir Peuple.
Yeah, there you are. We'll send we can send you the Instagram.
Send you the Instagram.
It's Pouvoir au Peuple.
Yeah. Which is power to people.
There's your art and a lot of
your
my things being as a collaborator.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of collaborations on my art stuff. Well, there's some of my art stuff on it as well. So yeah. But hopefully the website will be up very, very soon, people. And then we can
Just
all...
when the next documentary comes out, we'll have you on again, and by that time, the website will be out and everything will be updated, so it'll be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
It's been lovely hanging out with y'all. Thank you so much for your work and for your fun films and everything you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Thanks for inviting us.
Keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see what documentaries come out next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
One reward that we've had on our Patreon forever, but only inconsistently done, is crediting our patrons on the podcast. So, to make up for this, I'm going to go back in time and, without knowing who we've credited or not exactly from the past, I'm just going to go through the whole list of anyone who's ever been on our Patreon and thank them. So, if that's you, if your name is on this list, listen in for it. And I just want to say one more time, thank you so much. You really make all of this possible. Without further ado, thanks to Maribel, Chris, Julia, Margaret, Neri, Jeanette, Humyara, Lena, Swamp Witch 3000, Deb, Warren, Niovi, Sarah, On My Sleeve, Rachel, Sierra, Gabrielle, Isla, Alex, Aaron, Kate, Jay, Allie, Alyssa, Dakota, Evie, Sam, Kaja, Darren, Sarah, Michaela, Rebecca, Heather, Aura, Ashley, Emma, Kyle, Megan, Savannah, Gutter Dreamer, Rainey, Libby, Jenny, Jamie, Siotachan, Mitzi, Kea, Holly, Nick, Andrew, Shelby, Allison, Just Juice, Catherine, Rayleigh, Jennifer, Shariah, Amanda, Eldritch Moore, question mark, Liam, Muffins, Waylon, Emily, Mason, Ryan, Newts, Nicole, Sonia, Sarah, Jordan, Well, James, Lily, Tommy, Glamthropist, Kimbles, Meryl, Denver, Jose, Nick, Alex, Linda Lou, Miles, Julie, David, Michelle, Jane, Jessica, Lauren, Harrison, Kathleen, Katie, May, Evan, Alistair, Chris, Lila, Corey, Liz, Rebecca, Din, Ariel, Peluvian, Maris, Curtis, Theron, Bailey, Matthew, Morgan, Catherine, Cody, Jane, Samantha, Katarina, Emily, Grace, Aaron, Kevin, Allison, Jiri, Maggie, Allie, Lydia, Haley, Jezelyn, Gennaro, Helen, Cynthia, Sadish, Johanna, Satanic Panic, Caitlin, Synapsipede, Kala, Elizabeth, Jenny, Sarah, Emily, Annabelle, Rachel, Jessica, Laura, Alana, Jamila, Jennifer, Ashley, Anna, Kelsey, Elliot, Kayla, Lauren, Megan, Gloria, Adrian, Lindsay, Haley, Olivia, Caitlin, Nicole, Laura, Jess, Sharon, Amelia, Ventus, Omnimnum, Siam, Tessie, Shiwalker, Rogue, Kaylee, Christian, Yaku, Chris, Anna, Catherine, Rebecca, Dorothea, Georgia, Gretchen, Claude Monet, that's C-L-A-W-E-D Monet, Daisy, Jennifer, Catherine, Aaron, Jacob, Shaylee, Paige, Willa, Jennifer, Kathleen, Jonathan, Ella, Diana, Lena, Bronwyn, Grace, Lady Serpents, Amanda, Desi, Alexander, Mary, Corrine, Ramy, Christina, Estelle, SB Trees, Robert, Ben, Yelena, Monica, Molly, Marissa, Damascus, Karja, Sammy, Lizzie, Dance Fighting, Cass, Lisa, Catherine, Erica, Emily, Sammy, Rebecca, Shannon, Genevieve, Catherine, Kimberly, Christian, Tater, Trier of Pods, Kim, AJ, Alice, Emily, Ellie, Mothstradamus, G-Law, Desi, Evan, Jamie, Elijah, Cody, Lauren, Aaron, Emily, Poya, David, Kate, Marin, Isaac, Sarah, CJ, Brandy, Leanne, Dylan, Caroline, Alicia, Livy, Liz, Lane, Desiree, Anastasia, Laurel, Ashley, Chelsea, Lorena, Laura, Hillary, Leah, Anissa, Gina, Radwolf, David, Angie, Space Trace, Allie, Emily, This Fish Flies, Mandy, Katie, Corianne, Christina, Noir, Philip, Sam, Dan, Heather, Noah, Joshua, Jessica, Alex, Ash, Hin, Shyla, Ann, Catherine, Kayla, Stasia, Ariana, Christine, KK, Eleanor, Sasha, Rachel, Alexis, Rick, Christopher, Shara, Don Shin, Stephanie, Sean, Caitlin, Savannah, Liz, Dino Loris, Annie, Becky, Dylan, Andrew, Amos, Stephanie, Jaden, Zach, Ashley, Destiny, Bryce, Lauren, Rio, Alicia, Chelsea, Steven, Stacy, Annalisa, Riz is here, Emily, Gabriel, Julia, Mason, Alicia, Kimberly, Alessandra, Pamela, not Michelle, Megan, Grace, Sriracha, Helen, Anxiety Aardvark actually, Casey, Lindsay, Owl in the Green, Cheney, Pauline, Anna, Giacomo, Rebecca, Liz, Amanda, Annie, Brady, Corey, Rachel, Amy, Clark, Sarah, Chrisana, Victoria, Cosmo, Robert, Deirdre, Nicole, Sarah, Madison, Ivo, Kay, Zach, Leah, Haley, Lady Kirai, Patrick, Celia, McKinley, Serena, Emily, Sage, Megan, Sterling, Carly, Kaylee, Jules, Combing, Digital Mobius, Annie, Lost, Suad, Claire, Dylan, Liv, Anna, Joanna, Karen, Laura, Benjamin, Hillary, Grayson, Natalie, Emma, Chaotic Megan Energy, Lena, Aaron, Olivia, Skippy, Catherine, Harry, Megan, Spidey Books, Marilyn, Rachel, Rainey, Tony, Elena, Allison, Sam, Tommy, Ilya, Ultimates, Madeline, Scarlett, Sally, Ryan, Talia, Stephanie, Andrea, Colin, Kristen, Brooklyn, Julia, Krista, Beck, Jeffrey, Megan, Kimberly, Jennifer, Callum, Amanda, Draztastic, Use Your Outside Voice, Lily, Ewan, Daniel, Holly, Trinity, Kirsten, Becca, Tatamona, Imby, Morgan, Stella, Diavala, Christy, Wrathgate, Lauren, Jim, Alyssa, Jack, Matt, Kristen, Marissa, Tina, Pocky Nightmare, Dragon, Belle, Kelly, Casey, Alexander, Allison, Alice, Marissa, Amanda, Taylor, Shannon, Gabriel, Caitlin, Kimberly, Cynthia, Maggie, Kim, Daniel, Natalie, Nikki, Karis, Lazulis, Laura, Squeezebox Cat, The Other Mike, Sarah, Beth, Amanda, Greta, Jennifer, Chad, a cheese what? A cheese pierogi, Jessica, Boone, Slava, Cody, Elise, Jessica, Amanda, Gentleman Raccoon, Robin, Lisa, Kelsey, Trish, Eve, Stan, Klimbo, Aubrey, Caitlin, Brett, Candace, Lavender, Drew, Kelsey, Lauren, Eric, Ellie, Michelle, Jennifer, Regretful, Sydney, Lady, Rose, Kara, Decidedly, Jessica, Bethany, Cindy, Morgan, Danielle, Noah, Melody, Roberta, Lauren, Gilbert, Lillian, Timothy, Kristen, Costa, Nathan, Joshua, Taylor, Laurel, Kat Zia, Kat, Erica, Riley, Sarah, Moth, Agam, Brandon, Heidi, Dawn, Summer, Vivian, Amaranthine, PG, Renee, Bonnie, Alyssa, Emmy, Ariel, Rachel, Smelby, Rachel, A Person, Kest, Lily, Lauren, Skylar, Emily, Colin, Seong Young, Rachel, Kara, Kojal, JG&T, Jesse, Jessica, Lindsay, Mike, Stevie, Michael, Bring on the Bugs, Elizabeth, Morgan, Hanako, Terry, Elsa, Sean, Liz, Carly, Connor, Alex, Yuko, Jordan, Amelia, Tara, Courtney, Emily, Nicole, Georgia, Emily, Karen, G, Amy, Amanda, Zoe, Jennifer, Eleanor, Maria, Jen, Benoit, Kathleen, Sheesh, Charlie, Quinto, Sola, Felicia, Melanie, JB, Squidney, Rowan, Samantha, DJ, Brooke, Jared, Lindsay, Trey, Caitlin, Maya, Jill, Jesse, Lauren, Gary, Jelly, Shannon, Stephanie, Jacob, Samanthea, Sophie, Buffy, Aspen, Rim, Jackie, Joe, Internet Jones, Nicole, Hane, Marie, Heather, Mistina, Carmia, Helena, Chad, Pancakes, Kayla, Elise, Gian, Jordan, Chris, Kate, James, Jolie, H, Gage, Alicia, Carolyn, Juliana, Holly, Liz, Kat, Aaron, Alexandra, S, T, Kat, Cassie, Nicholas, Sparrow, Angela, Logan, Mindy, Madeline, Pat, Megan, Abby, Matthew, Rebecca, Ivan, Aaliyah, Emma, Courtney, Eleanor, Nathan, Emily, Devin, Lucy, the Gucci Saint, Renee, Emily, Jude, Kelby, Beverly, Evan, Justin, Jesse, Robin, Elsie, Cassie, Shlee, Elizabeth, Valentina, Sam, Lauren, Shroom Dad, Jess, Lo, Amanda, Win, Amanda, Courtney, Dylan, Allison, Shrethan, Mariah, Bex, Johnny, Gabrielle, Egg Dog, Tatiana, Emily, Beth, Haley, Joanna, Shauna, Melissa, Aaron, Tony, Rob, Eleanor, Kirsten, Michaela, Alex, Celine, Hatan, Frederica, Diane, Kristen, Tiffany, Corey, Hannah, Mara, Logan, Jacqueline, Wonderbra, Danielle, Raquel, Kristen, Ruth, Dolly, Thaisa, Ellie, Vespertine, Tasia, Mia, Megan, Glasses, Mina, Selena, Erito, Nicole, Peachbug, Clara, Sasha, Rocks and Reptiles, Amy, Flo, Barry, Dawn, Emily, Kay, Victoria, Jamie, Misty, Stephanie, Linda, Claire, Rupa, Jane, Episto, Rhonda, Andrea, Eric, Barbara, Alexander, Kate, Bjerg, Michelle, Zan, Meadow, Carrie, Ellie, Nika, Bree, Ashley, Mariana, Ashley, Karen, Maeve, Ilex, Kat, Ruth, Niam, and Lee.